It's telling, isn't it, that when Moscow fires its missiles, they don't only fall on apartment blocks and power stations, but increasingly on the factories and workshops of foreign nations that embody Ukraine's survival strategy. Only half an hour ago, reports confirmed that 2 Russian missiles struck the new Bayraktar drone factory just outside Kyiv. Millions of dollars of Turkish investment designed to strengthen Ukraine's defensive capacity lie in ruins. In western Ukraine, a US-owned electronics plant was also hit. That site produced appliances, not weapons, but symbolism matters here. Moscow wanted to send a message to Washington as much as to Kyiv and to Ankara. Russia claims that these are legitimate military-industrial strikes. Well, they're more military and industrial strikes than the routine strikes on civilian homes and apartment blocks, yet the line between civilian industry and military utility is being stretched beyond recognition. A drone assembly hall, yes, but also a consumer electronics plant, storage depots, even gas pumping stations. If anything is dual use, then nothing is off limits. President Zelensky called the attacks indecent signals. He's right. They're not designed to win the battlefield, but to sabotage diplomacy. Just as Donald Trump announced his plans for direct talks between Zelensky and Putin, the Kremlin has unleashed one of their largest waves of attacks since 2022. 574 drones, 40 missiles in a single night. This is negotiation by wrecking ball. The message is blunt. Russia will not be cajoled into peace while Ukraine still has functioning allies, investors or factories. Or rather, maybe it's simply an effort by Russia to justify not having that meeting, because God forbid that Zelensky should see through the Putin fakes, should see through the doppelganger, because Zelensky would. Zelensky is also an actor. The Bayraktar TB2 drones are more than weapons, they're icons. They were crowdfunded by Lithuanians, sung about by Ukrainians in the first year of the war. Striking the new Baykar factory is about destroying morale as much as destroying infrastructure. It says even your partners cannot protect their projects on your soil. Turkey, a NATO member, but an ambivalent one, or a hopeful NATO member. Turkey is a NATO member, but an ambivalent one. It will be deeply offended. Erdogan cannot ignore that Russian missiles just destroyed his country's flagship defence export on NATO's frontier. They hit on Flex Limited plants in Zakarpattia. Equally theatrical, Russia wanted Washington to see flames rising from American capital assets. Zelensky's words were deliberate, a very telling strike. He means this is how Russia negotiates. When Trump says Putin is ready for peace, Putin replies with shrapnel. Factories in Lviv destroyed, gas pumping stations destroyed, power grids, rail depots, warehouses all made precarious. This is a strategy of corrosion, not a blitzkrieg to capture Kyiv, but a slow poisoning of Ukraine's industrial life. To take up the area in Donbass, which is the industrial heartland of Ukraine anyway. For Ukraine, this is a blow to its hopes for self-sufficiency in defence. If you cannot even finish building your drone factory, how can you scale up production? For investors in Turkey, America, Europe must ask, how can we protect our assets in Ukraine? Or is the risk of Russian bombardment too high? For diplomacy, these strikes humiliate the very idea of peace talks. How can Trump boast of progress when Putin greets his efforts with rocket fire? Well, what is revealed here is Russia's true aim, true war aim. Not negotiation, not compromise, but the strangling of Ukraine's sovereignty by smashing the very tools of its independence, its industry, its alliances, its ability to manufacture its own future, its civilian population. Factories, after all, are symbols of tomorrow. The people who are being bombed out of their homes are the people who would work in the factories, and Putin is in the business of cancelling tomorrow.